Hello everyone, I'm in Linz, Austria, and I've got some free time, so I'm going to head out, tour the town, see what I can see, find out what's interesting, and I hope you'll join me. So this charming street in Linz, Austria is called the Hofgasse, and Gasse in German is different from a Straße because, as you can see, it's a lot smaller. So from down this way, this leads to the marketplace, that sort of structure you see in the middle. I think that was once a fountain, but now it's called the Lichtbrunnen, the light fountain. But anyway, let's go visit the castle. So in Austria, when you see a flag and a plaque right like on this building here, it means the building has some significance to history, and usually there'll be an accompanying plaque like this one. This one says Christian Doppler besuchte im Schuljahr 1820-21 in diesem Gebäude die 4. Klasse der deutschen Normalschule. Der von ihm 1842 entdeckte und nach ihm benannte Doppler-Effekt. So Christian Doppler attended the school in 1820, 1821, and 20 years after he was here at the school, he discovered the Doppler effect, you know, the scientific principle. And then over here, this is more history of the building. This was the kind of an administrative building of the castle, or palace really. It's not so much of a castle, I guess it's a mixture. Landkanzlei. So just saying it was part of the palace administrative complex. So a trip up the Hofgasse rewards you with this great look of the beautiful blue Danube River. And here above the river sits the palace. This palace was first constructed as more of a castle sometime in the 1700s. And then during the late 1400s, from about 1470 on, it was renovated into an imperial palace by Emperor Frederick III, who was a Habsburg ruler. This gate here says, well, Rudolph II, so that's another Habsburg emperor, in 1673. So this palace, I'm sure, was renovated later on. This is not what it would look like in the 1400s when the Habsburg ruler lived here, and because the Habsburg ruler lived here, this would have been the capital of the Austrian Empire. But here we are walking into the inner courtyard. And this over here is the Palace Museum. It's not open today, which is Monday, but I think it's open Tuesdays through Saturdays. You can imagine what activities must have gone on here 500 plus years ago. Horses and people and cooks, deliveries from food, things like that. And the entrance of the museum. But over here we get another great look of the city. It looks like a nice iron model. Let's see here. Linz vor dem Brand von 1800. 1/400. So, if you were visiting Linz before the year of 1800, when I guess there was a big fire through here, this is what you would have seen. So this is the castle, or palace, and we are standing about right there. This is the market square. Got some fountains, and then there's a column there. That's still there. Lots of churches. Love the old city walls. Let's have a look at the view. Just a lovely view. You can see right down here there's the remains of, I think it was one of those turrets that was there. You can see these churches are at least older than 1800 based on that iron map, which is no shock. But the big church over there, the dome, I don't think that appears on the map. Nope. Let's see. So, yeah, that church was constructed sometime in the 19th century because it's not on this map. It would have been right about here, or it is right about here on the map. But really neat. I've seen a few cities in Austria and Germany that have these iron models. I think the first one I saw was when I lived in Ingolstadt, Germany. But I know there's one at the Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, and then now I know of this one. And I guess it's because it was covered with this modern metal cap that I didn't notice this tower here. That's really neat. You can see a wall there. Looks like they're doing some excavations or something on it. There's a ladder in there. Something. Here we are on the other side in the other tower, or round battlement, whatever you would want to call it. But look at these big hinges there that would have held heavy doors. Right up there in the corner. Got a double door system here. So this one's called Friedrichstor mit Wappenstein, so Frederick's Gate with a crest. There's the crest. This was built in 1481, named after Emperor Friedrich III, from 1484 to his death in 1493. So he was also the emperor who came up with the AEIOU for the imperial sort of motto for the Habsburgs. And there's the coat of arms, Wappen symbol. Looks like on the top left there is his personal signature. And you have the double-headed eagle, and then the coat of arms. AEIOU, Frederica Romano So yeah, that I think that dates from the 1400s. Neat stuff. So we just left the inner courtyard with the Friedrichs gate there. We also got this more, I would say more modern, at least on the top there, that gate with the heavy doors on it still. That's neat. Might have been guardhouse. I don't know, some support building for the palace here. So this is looking at the castle from the south side, and you can see how imposing it is on the landscape. The gun turrets and all kinds of things. But these shields, or these information boards as you walk up the path here, give a brief history of the castle, dating back to the 700s through to the modern era. So for a while in the 1300s, this castle belonged to the Babenbergs, the Bavarian dukes. Then it passed to the Habsburgs, and it was, you know, redone by Frederick III. And more recently, it was planned to be knocked through by Hitler and turned into a retirement home, as Hitler spent his youth here in Linz. After the war, it was used as a refugee camp for a while too. And here, as in many places in Europe, we have a World War I monument. Got the steel helmet. I'm not sure what that thing is, if it's like a trench club or something. If you know what that is, put it in the comments. But ihrem Eide getreu fielen. Their courage true fell 1914-18. The Hessians more as 5,000, more than 5,000. Sorry, it's difficult to translate on the fly like that. But it looks like we've also got other years where other, probably men from this town, died in battle. Verstreut, zerspielt in weiten Landen, scattered across many lands and far lands. Oft namenlos wo es gestanden, oft nameless where it was. Schläft nun in Sumpfen Feldspalten das Regiment. Sleeps now in trenches. So we've got Magenta, 1859, 1809 Aspern, 1915 Gorlice. I don't even know where that is. The front of the cathedral, undergoing construction or renovation or something, cleaning maybe, so can't get in the front doors here. I mean, it looks Gothic, but we know it's no older than the 19th century, so even the good old US of A is older than this church. Really lovely and highly detailed stained glass windows. They go all the way down. Even on the second story, I think it's called the Clara story. I might be wrong. But yeah, that is gorgeous. And this church feels fresh somehow. It does not feel all that old. But I imagine that this is what people living back in the medieval period who attended Gothic churches would have experienced. You know, their churches weren't centuries old, their churches were new. So in a sense, you can get an idea of what medieval church attendance was like through these newer 19th century churches. That's neat. Some sort of inner structure there. I haven't seen that too many times in European cathedrals. Wow. Look at that window. I really hope the colors come through on the video. They are just impressive. They're in the dark. It's the organ. The organ. There's another organ. Maybe the priest's throne, bishop's throne. It's a cathedral, there's gotta be a bishop here. Bishop and priest chairs. If you know more about that, put it in the comments. Can't go down there. This one says Gottesdienst in der geheizten Krypta. Service in the heated crypt. Oh, it's too dark, but there's a nice spiral staircase that goes up behind there. Down into the crypt. Here's the high altar. Still have a Christmas tree up. In Catholicism, yeah, I think the Christmas season technically goes through the beginning of February. Back in hundreds of years ago, we sing about the 12 days of Christmas. Christmas started on the 24th and ran through the 6th of January. Here we've got votive candles lit to the Virgin Mary. In this instance, the Virgin Mary is a sort of patron or guardian over pilgrims. It says Pilgrim Madonna, steh uns bei auf der Pilgerschaft des Lebens. So stand by us on our pilgrimage of life. And this is a unique thing in churches that I've been to, a photo opportunity. It's a Darstellerin. The representatives make female visible, Marien Dom Linz. So I just had a look at the signs. Darstellerin, as I really understand it in German, means actress or someone who stands in the place of somebody else, basically. So what this is a photo opportunity to sort of balance out the male-female ratio in art, as that argues that there's the patriarchy has dominated art and religious art, and this is an effort to bring women to the foreground. So, you know, it's interesting to see in a church. So I'm here in the old sort of market square here in Linz. And back in the medieval period, this place was home to 2 markets a year. One market ran for 4 weeks, and the other market ran for 2 weeks. And those markets helped to make Linz an important city. Also, its geographic location contributed to that, because you had the Danube River to help transport. And so, if you remember looking on that metal map here, looking in the square, there were 2 fountains. So there's the one. This is kind of the main street, as we would understand it, running through here. Then we have this column. And then, let's see if on the other side they still have a fountain. Nope, looks like that's been replaced by a tram station. So, but for centuries, this has just been an open square. Oh, there's another church there. Should probably pop in. Started to rain earlier, now it's turned into snow. Folks are heading home. In this part of the world, it gets dark pretty early, so it'll be full dark in about an hour and a half. So here's a closer look at the column. It is called the I think Dreifaltigkeit column, the Holy Trinity column. The writing on it is Latin. But also built in the 1700s. Because of the way that it is, the way that it looks. This side, I think, is the most interesting side here. I don't really read a lot of Latin, but I can make out that it is a monument to the victims of the plague. So MDCCXXIII, so that would be 1773? I don't know, if you know, put it in the comments. But a plague memorial, I guess that's what I'm saying. You don't see that every day. Certainly not in the US.